This week's Parashah is Vayishlach, and it's the story of what happened to Jacob when he's finished already this whole story. When he was home, he got the blessings from his father. He escaped from his brother wanting to kill him. He went to a place where his father-in-law cheated him, giving Leah instead of Rachel. Yeah, so a lot of trouble with the father-in-law. He was basically an expert at cheating people, and he got his hands on Jacob to cheat him, but God was Jacob, and he succeeded. And at some point, it was time for him to, God told him, come back home, come back to your family. So he told his wife, let's go, and they agreed, and they're on their way. Now, the trip that they took was a very, very, very long trip. He now is traveling, and he's about to meet his brother. His brother heard that he's coming, and he's not having this brother. His brother, after 20 years, has not swallowed the pill that he lost the blessings from his father. He's not happy about it. His only idea is to kill him. Like I said last week, it's not fun somebody wants to do something to you, but when it's your twin brother, it's even worse. But Jacob was told by his mother to be kind to his brother. It's his brother. So he prepared. And here what it says. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother. His brother was dwelling in one part of the country, and Jacob, as he's traveling, sending messenger out of his way to his brother. So what does he need to go tell him that he's coming? He told his messengers like this. When you see my brother, tell him, your humble servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Lavan, with the father-in-law, and I've been delayed until now. I have acquired cattle, donkeys, sheep, slaves, and slave girls, and now I'm sending words to tell you that I would like to gain favor in your eyes. In other words, I'm coming with very loving and good intentions. The messengers go, they come back to Jacob and say, your brother is coming with 400 men. In other words, you think that, you want to appease him, but he has nothing in his head except fighting you and killing you. Jacob was very scared and distressed for two things. And he divided his camp into two, and all his belonging he divided into two. And he said, if Esau comes and attack one camp, at least the other one will survive. And he prayed to the God of his father Abraham and the God of his father Isaac. And he said, listen, I'm doing what you told me to do. You told me to return to the land. I'm returning to the land. I'm throwing myself into the mouth of the lion. So you told me to do that, so please help me. And he said, I'm not worthy of your kindness, because all the goodness that God gave him to acquire so many riches in a way that was a little bit not natural. And he said, I crossed the Jordan. Please rescue me from my brother, from Esau. I'm afraid of him. He can come and kill us all, mother, the children. He said, look, God, you promised me, I'm going to give you this land, and I'm going to make you numerous as the sand of grains of the sea. So now it's time to keep your promise. So we see two things. First of all, he prayed. Number two, he separated the camp. Now he spent the night, and what he sent to his brothers like this: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 20 ewes, 200 ewes, 20 rams. So 200 female, 20 male, 200 female, 20 male. Then 30 nursing camels with their young. So that's a lot. That's basically more like double. 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. That's what he sent. He gave them to the servant, and he told them, listen, you don't go all at once. First, you send one with the servant, one group of flock. Then you make a space. Then a little while later, there's another one that comes in. then another one that comes in later. He sent it separately, so every time absorb, now, oh, again, oh, now again. It's a way of softening the hard heart that Esau had to kill. Your servant Jacob, to humble himself. And he gave all the instruction to all the groups. This portion of getting ready to confront adversity and challenge. Jacob comes in, he knows his brother wants to kill him. He knows there's something that is after him and wants to get destroyed, right? So now we can think about people, but we can also think, just like you remember when Rebecca had two children inside of her, and one wanted to do this and one wanted to do that, and it was painful, really confrontation in her womb. So basically, what Rivka experienced, what Rebecca experienced, we all experience. Inside of us, in our womb, inside of our soul, we have these two pulls. One is pulling this way and one is pulling that way. It's confrontation, non-stop fighting. And that's why she didn't know what was going on, what's hurting her. But on a psychological level, this is what happened to us. Anytime we're conflicted, we have two different pulls, that's when we don't feel good. For example, if a person is doing something and they know they shouldn't be doing it, in the back of their mind, they know they shouldn't be doing it. Even though they enjoy what they're doing, in the back of their mind, so something's telling them. And that pull makes them feel uncomfortable. They cannot enjoy it 100% if they know they should not be doing it. That's human nature. We always have this little conscience that is always alive. To Rebecca, inside of her, she has two pulls. Twins, because they're twins. You have to understand that twins, what? You look at them, you see the same face, right? So inside of us, we look at ourselves and we have two pulls. And who do they look like? They look like us. The two pulls, the two inclinations, they look like us. They're part of us. They're us. Now we have these two brothers, these two twins, and it's confrontation. The good part, which we'd call Jacob, and the bad side, which is personified by Esau. We're going to learn here strategies how to deal with challenge, right? In the time of the Talmud, they used to have to meet with Roman emperors or people, that like fate of people would depend on. They would always study this. How did Jacob meet Esau? How did he do it? And they used to learn from it how to do it, strategies. So this, we're now going to look at the strategies, how to get ready when we have something inside of us that wants to pull us one way, and we know that Jacob, the good guy, we want to pull the other way. The verse 8, it says, Jacob was very afraid. And then, Vayishlach, it was distress. So why is there two expressions of fear? One is that he was afraid to be killed. And the second one, Vayishlach, it was distress because he said in the battle, maybe I have to kill someone. When we're in a situation that is problematic, we're afraid. First of all, because we don't know what's going to be. We don't know how we're going to manage. We don't know how we're going to deal with it. And we're afraid we're going to be killed. We're afraid it's going to be the end of us. Number one. Number two, it was also afraid that not only he gets affected and get killed, but other people get affected. This is two different fears. A fear for oneself and a fear for the other people that are involved. People have family, people have people in the community, people have people in the fellowship. Whatever is affecting one person is also affecting other people. So there's two fears, for myself and for the other people. These stories are not just regular stories that you read a book for a nice story, right? There's also something that we need to study because it relates not to what happened to Esther, it relates to what happened to each of us. Jacob is the good side, Esau the bad side. We have this clear, we have these two fighting, inclination, habits, to prototype. Life is made of different events that come to us and they come to us as a challenge. How we respond, this is what makes a difference for now and for the later, for us and for the people around us. So every moment is a challenge. Every moment we're going to be facing a decision. Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I say this? Do I not say this? Do I help someone? Do I run away? Do I give in to my emotion or do I deal with it? Whatever it is, every moment is a challenge. How we will respond. So that's exactly what it is. There's two pull, two tendency, and each one is telling you to do one way or to do another. These two twins, because they're us. They're us, like, it's me wanting to do good and me wanting to do bad. They're both us, like twins. They have the same image. They have different inclination, and should say opposite. Wants to go in this direction, the other one wants to go in the opposite direction. If Esau represent the pull that is towards something that is going to be detrimental to us, maybe we can learn from what Jacob did, because he's the good guy in the story, right? So what did he do? The first thing that we see is that he was afraid. Yira, to be afraid, also is related to the word to see, avoid. And I think that when somebody is afraid of something, it's because they have a certain awareness of danger. A baby, it goes into the plug and wants to see what is the hole in the plug. It puts his finger here. You've done that? Yeah. When a baby does that, it puts his finger, or even worse, a metal pin or something like that into the outlet. He's not aware. He doesn't know it's dangerous, and he doesn't know it's not good, even though maybe he's been told, but the knowledge he doesn't have. He doesn't have the awareness. So when you're not aware of something, you're not afraid because you're clueless, right? Yeah. So that's exactly what happens here, is that Jacob is afraid, which means he has an awareness. And if we think, the first thing we have to develop is the awareness that has consequence, the awareness that if I go to the store and I buy a bottle, I'm going down the slope, and it's very slippery, right? The awareness not to be even afraid in facing danger. It's a very high, because our physical reaction is when there is a danger, even something like, even with the wind, we close our eyes like right away. We react so fast bodily, the body is reacting, preserving this. So it's hard to not react facing danger. People in the military and people that are, more aware, they know that when there is a danger, you face the danger. Yeah. That's the first thing. You face and you attack the danger instead of running away. That's why most of the people that run away from their emotion and went towards addiction to run away from the emotion. Mm-hmm. So the best thing to do is face the emotion, face the unpleasantness, face the hardship, cry if you have to, but just be there. So in any case, so now what we have this thing is, the first thing is the awareness. Vayira is related to see. When you see something, you become aware of it. So because if you're aware of being on a dangerous path, the awareness itself is a good thing. Yeah. It's a good thing. When you get not aware, when you're so let down in a place that is not good, that you not know what's happening, and you're walking in the street and in the middle of the road and whatever is going on. Who walks in the middle of the road when the cars are coming? But when the person is to a place where they lost awareness, that's bad. Yeah. That's bad. So the first thing is have awareness. Yeah. That little voice that tells you this is dangerous. Two awareness, one for oneself and one for the family, for the community, for the fellowship. It's not just me. Look what happened to my kids. Look what happened to my parents. How many parents are not sleeping? How many parents are so distraught and they cannot do anything? People go to Al-Anon, or the family members that are have a family member in addiction. The first thing they tell them, you cannot help. You cannot, it's out of your hand. It doesn't take away the pain of the people that see their child or their father or their husband or their brother or whatever. It doesn't take away the pain. Tell them you can't do anything, but it doesn't take away the pain that people have. So it's not just if I do something, it's not affecting just me, it's affecting everybody. Right? Like people that have gambling addiction. Who is paying now? Who is losing their house? The whole family is down. Mm-hmm. The parents, the people that they borrow, the people who started, everybody's down. It's not just one person. This is the one thing that we have to understand, to be aware of, not only for ourselves, but my actions influence my future and the future of others too. So the whole community, the family, the fellowship, everybody will suffer. Like everybody suffers when you hear somebody overdose. Everybody's suffering. So the awareness of and having this fear of hurting myself and the people around me, it should be already something to hold us. If it does. Because like I said, comes to a point in addiction that the fear is not there because the brain doesn't react in a normal way. Okay. So then what did he do? Vayichatz etam. He divided the people that were with him. He divided them. So what it says like this: divide your influence. What I mean by that is, might sound a little bit strange, but it's something to remember, because I'm going to explain to you what it means to divide. Yeah. To be fully invested 100% in a bad situation is bad. But the importance of dividing is like this: even if you are in a bad situation, keep a piece of yourself connected to something good. Okay? Because even if a part of you is attached to bad habits, always he says divide and conquer. How are you going to get help? How are you going to conquer? Is by dividing. Keep a piece that is still good. Now, it sounds, why shouldn't I keep a part of me that is good? Yeah, you're going to say, why not? Yeah. But a lot of people, when they start with the addiction, they say, now it's finished, I might as well go all the way down. Right? Since I started, and okay, so I might as well finish and do whatever I enjoy. Or people say, now I started drinking again. I'm too embarrassed to go and ask for help to the people that love me. This, when I talk about dividing, is dividing the bad part. And it's even though we're in a bad place with bad habits or something bad happened, keep a piece for the good. It could be anything. It could be, a phone call to another guy who was in rehab with me a while back. Or it could be family members. Just talk to them. Even though you're in a bad place or whatever, talk to the family members, people that love you, people that care for you. Even though a person gets to a bad place, it's very important to divide it. Don't keep it all bad. Keep a little piece that is good, because that little piece that is good is what's it's like a lifeline, At some point, that person, maybe you're going to call them and they're going to come and help you, or they're going to pick you up, or they're going to, whatever it is. This guy completely off. Even his father said, I can't help you. He called his father and said, I'm down. It's like, it's such a bad place. The father said, I can't help you. But he called someone else. And that person said, okay, you've had enough? He said, yes. Okay, I'm coming to pick you up. Where are you? Just a phone call. Just a phone. It was really in a bad situation, but he kept a phone call away from that person. And that little piece that he kept separated from the bad habit, it helped him and put him back in place. So even sometimes I hear people say, even in the midst of my addiction, I kept contact with God. I prayed to God.
Well, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with God.
Yeah. So you can't say, I'm in such a bad place. How can I talk to God like that? No. No matter what, keep a piece of good, even if the situation is bad. So that's the division, divide and conquer. Don't make it all bad. There's always a little good, keep it, divide. And sometimes you feel like, it's not honest, I'm praying to God even though I'm doing all these bad things or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a lifeline and it's a piece of good, and anything that is good, you have to keep, and it will lift you up. And that's what it says. Always keep a connection to true good, to goodness. Keep calling family. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Reach out. If this person doesn't answer, reach out to someone else. Keep connected. Always divide the camp. The good and the bad, divide them. Keep a piece of good and connection no matter what. So, and there is a risk of rejection. Like this guy called his father and he says, Father said, I'm not going to do it. I can't help you. I'm not coming. So it's a fear. Already you're in low place, and then you call someone and tell them you're low, and they say it's just like deal on your own. But there's always someone else, another place. Keep this goodness. Jacob said, in case of a war, at least a piece of it will be saved, right? So always when there's a fight, you can fall, but you know that you can come up. Always keep a piece of goodness in the middle of any tough situation. That's the safeguard. So now that's the mindset, the fear, the awareness, and also always keeping a connection to something good. That's the mindset. What are the actual strategies, practical action that Jacob did when he was facing a very big challenge? 3 things. The first thing that he did was prayer. He prayed. Says, the God of my father, the God of my father Abraham, the God of my father Isaac, you told me this. You told me this. You promised me it's going to be good for me. Keep your promise. That's the first thing. The prayer, somebody said one time, is that the way you think, the way you pray, 70% of the result depend on that. Yeah. It's a lot. It's more than half.
Intentions.
Yeah. Your prayer, your connection,
heart,
yeah. It evolves into something very practical. So sometimes we think everything is up to us and we have to do all the work. But as we're doing the work, we have to do work. It's like, it's not like, I'm praying and now that's it. You got to put in the effort. But let's pray that our efforts are successful. Let's pray that as I'm doing something, I know where it's coming from. God didn't put you in this world to have bad things. He put you in here to have good things. So he wants to give good, but we have to ask for it. We have to ask. The second thing is take action. What needs to be done? He separated the camp. Let's prepare for war. Strategy, right? Last week, I think we talked about the morning strategies. What we ask in the morning, first thing in the morning.
Yes, he gave us the worksheet.
Right. The daily commitment sheet. So that's a strategy. What is my strategy? If this happened, what am I going to do? If I come out of here and I feel like this, what am I going to do? Have your strategy in place because you know what's going to happen. It's always going to happen. We're always going to be challenged. What are strategy for? So now the third thing is the gift. You know what he did? He sent gift for a bribe to his brother. He told you how much he sent him. Believe me, this is not little gifts. 200 of this, 200 of that, 20 male, 200 female. Big stuff, right? So, and remember, in this day, what had power. Either you own land and cultivate, or you had flock. I mean, that's how you that's the riches. What does it mean on this level of, like, we have a challenge now, we're sending gift to the part that wants to do? What is that? You know what it is? The way I understand it is giving to the part of yourself that wants to be relaxed, that wants to be dreaming, that wants to be not thinking about the worries, because it's basically an addiction. There's not much, except where am I going to get some more? But there's no worry about other people. People feel like, yeah, I'm in my space and things like that. How do we do this? Give yourself bribes for pleasure. I remember there was one guy, and it was so shocking to me. But he's not the only one. A lot of people have that. I said, how did you get into this addiction? He said, I was so stressed. I had to relax. So I started with a little beer, and I started with a beer before I go to work. Then I started a beer at lunch. Then I started a beer before I go home, because when I go home, my wife this and that. And then it went on and on and on until full addiction to alcohol, right? But what started this? He needed to relax. He worked so hard. Yeah? He needed to relax. Another one, he says to me, I worked on Saturday. I worked the whole week. Didn't take time off. No, I needed to prove myself that I'm capable, and I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get this website. And I worked so hard. Explode addiction. You hear a lot, and even one time I said to someone, I said, what you going to do when you come out? I have a job. I know what I'm going to do. I said to him, what you going to do for relaxation? And he looks at me like, is this a question? Yes. Because last time you went into the addiction because you were so stressed. I need to know what you're going to be doing now to be relaxed. I don't want you to relax with another addiction. I want you to relax in a good way. So this is what I call the bribe of the gift to the bad side. The bad side wants to relax. Okay, give it a little bit to him. Take a day off in the week and do something fun. I said, what do you like to do? I like to go fishing. Okay, I want you to go fishing. Every other week, take your car, go to the pier, go to whatever, and go fishing. This is part of your recovery. When we're talking about Jacob sending bribes, because basically is bribing him to soften his heart, what are we going to, how do we apply this? We're going to apply this that now we're going to get to bribe that part of us that is so tense, and or sometimes it's tension and stress, but sometimes it's a lot of softness of the heart, I should call it, a lot of sensitivity. And people very often that have addiction is because they cannot take it when somebody screams at them, or when somebody stress them at work, or when they're so sensitive and people put them down, or people going to it. I was never good at anything. Everybody always made fun of me. So I'm no good. So let's give a bribe to that part. Let's show that part you're good at something. Let's show that part that you can be sensitive to people who need it, but okay, that's okay. But be sensitive to these people, kids, people, older people who need your help, people in the fellowship. Well, why should you be oversensitive to people that are not good for you? So be like, if you were super sensitive, address that sensitivity. Address it. Like there's some people, no, I have to be macho. I'm not gonna. So if you're a sensitive person, go watch movies that make you cry, and you let go of that sensitivity. You give it a place to express itself. There's nothing wrong. That's what movies are for. They use your all your emotions. These are good movies. A movie is going to have fear, love, and passion, or excitement, and then relief, and whatever. So do something to release that sensitivity in a good way. Bribe it. Give it gift. You want to be sensitive? Okay, I'm going to give you something to be sensitive about. In a good way. In a good way. You like to be, people should look at me because I want to wear nice clothes. I have a sense for fashion, this and that. Okay, do it. Do it. But do it in a way like, I'm going to get dressed today and make people feel good. Now I'm going to talk to them, use it for good. That's the bribe. You want to show off with a fancy car? Okay, get a fancy car, but give a ride to people. Make them feel good. You give them a ride. Like if you go in a group and somebody is dressed super fancy, everybody looks up to the person who's super fancy, right? So now go to someone and say hello to them. When you say hello to that person, you make them feel good. Oh, this guy looks so fancy, and now he's coming. Yeah. In other words, do what you like to do. Give a bribe to that aspect of you, but use it for good. Use it for good. And now, if you feel good and be productive, this is the bribe. You use the thing that could be used for bad, but using them for good. That's the bribe. And also something very, very, very important that really sometimes I feel like therapy is good, but coaching is even better sometimes. There was one person, and we were in a group, and we're figuring out, like, what's your purpose? Like, what are you good at? What you good at? And so I told him, like, I can tell you, you're good at this, you're good at that, and he said, that's very true. I'm very good at this. And I'm very good at organizing, managing, making sure everything is good, set up and everything. I said, yes, so why don't you get a job as manager? Manager in the office. He said to me, actually, I was manager and I did a great job. And somebody in my family, actually offered me a job if I can keep sober. I said, here you go. Here you go. Now, the next thing I know, I see the person finish treatment, whatever, is sitting on a chair and doing nothing. Is waiting. There is opportunity and there's no action being taken. The worst thing you can do is not do anything. This is a rule. I remember one time a financial planner said the worst thing you can do with your money is to do nothing with it. Mm. You have to put it into something. You have to invest it. Okay, maybe it's not a good. You have to, because the worst thing is money sitting down. It just loses. That's it. Yeah. If you're not taking a risk, if you're not get going on things, you get up and go and do something. But the worst thing is to do nothing. The worst thing is not to try. To sit and wait until it falls on you. Again, the third thing that he did to send the gift is a kind of a bribe. Do what you need to do to appease your negative influence. The same thing, and it's very interesting, the same thing that got you into trouble will be the same thing that is going to be your major asset in life. Your sensitivity, it made you go into whatever, that's going to be your asset. You have to know whatever was the thing that made you go into one thing is the thing that is going to get you out. So now the last thing that I want to say as a positive note here. So when Jacob said, verse 9, if Esau comes to the camp, to one camp, and he smite this, destroyed that one, there will be the second one that will be saved. He said to himself, I hope, you can take it as like, I hope that this is how it's going to work out. But you can also take it, this is how it will be. He said, and that's how it will be. If one thing gets messed up, the other thing is going to get good. This is not a hope, it's a promise that this is how it's going to be in the future. And this is a way to know that if one thing doesn't work out, there's going to be something that will.
Other opportunities there.
Yeah. And that's what he said.
That's
it's
a blessing.
One piece, exactly. And it's a promise. It's a promise. And this is how it will be. If something got messed up, you have a promise, the other piece of you is going to be great.